Hi, so today I'm going to review this book right here. This is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and it is so beautiful. Look at this cover. It is just one of my favorite covers. It's so beautiful. The spine is just as good. All good. So good. I really like how this book looks visually as well, like the cover and the inside as well, and then like black and white and the black and white version of the cover. At the start of every chapter, the titles are in this like little graphic over here, which is really cool. They're like hanging down, which kind of reflects this cloud thing going on. Even on every page, this like little detail of the clouds. So this book is about a character named Greg Gaines, and he is writing a book about a time in his life, and so this book is kind of his book. He's telling you the story of what happened to him, and he talks to you directly a lot, which is really interesting and a little bit unique. And also it's written in a lot of different formats, so there's kind of like just normal book format where things are just like written normally, like a normal book, and then there's also bullet points and kind of like this one is like there's like a title, like a bold title, and then it talks about that specific thing, and then there's another one, and there's numbered points, and then there's also this is kind of script writing, so it's just the character name and then what they say, and then the next character name and what they say. And this was really easy to read through, so it really made a quick read for me. I think I read it in a day, maybe. So yes, I really like the different formats. It was really interesting and really unique. And the moment in time, or the time that Greg is writing about, is a time when he's in high school. He's 17 years old, and he's a social floater. He doesn't want to be like associated with any group too much, so he kind of goes from group to group, and he doesn't stay too long with anyone. He kind of like he's kind of like acquaintances with everyone in high school, but he's not friends with anyone. He does have one friend though, and his name is Earl, and they make movies together, him and Greg, and they do this out of school, so he's not actually with Earl at school. He kind of just, you know, knows everyone at school, but he isn't friends with them. So he's friends with Earl out of school, and he makes movies with them. And then one day his mother comes to him and says that one of his friends, one of his acquaintances that he used to be friends with, or used to be acquaintances with, but kind of hasn't talked to in a while, has leukemia, and that's the dying girl. And his mom tells him that he needs to hang out with this girl and to be friends with her and to kind of be there for her in this time, even though he was only really acquaintances with her. So he's forced to hang out with the dying girl, and that's kind of the premise of the story. My favorite things about this book is that Greg is one of the most honest portrayals of a 17-year-old boy ever. Like, I think he is the most honest portrayal of a boy I've ever read in a book. He's just a 17-year-old boy. Like, he is so real, so defined as a character. I just feel like I know exactly who he is, and he's just Greg. Like, he's just Greg Gaines. He's just this character who's so different and so unique and so just there. He's just a 17-year-old boy, and he acts in a way a boy would act in a book. And I really liked just how honest that portrayal was. It was really great. The other characters are also really unique in this book and really different. Earl lives in this family where some of his brothers don't go to school even though they should, and some of them just like take drugs and are in gangs and kind of play video games all day, and his mom lives upstairs in their house and never comes down and just is on her computer the whole day. And then Greg's family is really weird as well. They kind of interact with each other in an interesting way, and I really like their characters as well. They were kind of unique and different in the way that they acted and interacted with each other. And I also really like the format, like I showed you before, and just the uniqueness of the book and how different it was from other books. Now onto the things that I didn't like. So the first thing I didn't like is Greg. He is a very honest portrayal of a 17-year-old boy, and it turns out that I do not like 17-year-old boys, or at least I don't like Greg. He is deeply unlikable for me. It's just always him. Like, it's from his perspective, and he's talking directly to you, and his thoughts are just going through his head, and you're seeing each and every one of them. And that's one of the reasons that it's so honest, is because you're seeing the bad and the good, and there's a lot of bad. And I got so tired of him and what he was thinking. He's kind of really obsessed with how people see him. He, you know, is a social floater, and he doesn't want to be involved in any certain group, but he's so obsessed with how people see him and about what people think and about how awkward situations are, and it just got so annoying. Like, I was just so tired of that. and I just wanted to get away from him. I wanted the other characters more. And I feel like we only get the other characters as much as Greg cares about them, which really annoyed me. We got a little bit of Earl. I would have liked to see more of Earl, but at the same time I feel like if I had gotten to know Earl more than I did, I would have started to dislike him. Earl was really interesting, and I really liked his character and the way that he acted. And then also the dying girl, I feel like we barely got to brush her character to see what she was like, because Greg doesn't really care about her. That's the other thing about this book. This is definitely not like the Fault in Our Stars type of book. It's not meant to like give you meaning about cancer and make you feel like teach you this lesson about life and stuff like that. It's just kind of Greg and a time in his life and the things that he's thinking. The other thing I didn't like about this book also goes along with me not liking Greg, and it's that Greg is very self-depreciating. He just puts himself down and puts the book down all the time. Like the first line of this book is this. Let me find it. I have no idea how to write this stupid book. And he refers to the book as being stupid, and why are you still reading this book, and this book is terrible, and that was terrible, what did I just write, continually, and it just keeps on going, and I can deal with some of that, I can deal with some depreciation and self-depreciation, but at a certain point it's just like, just stop. Like if you hate this book so much, and if you think it's so terrible, why are you writing it? Stop it. Just don't write anymore, or just shut up and write it. Like, stop it. And then the other thing that I didn't like about this book, I didn't find it funny. I feel like this book, the humor in this book, is the type of humor that you will either find it hilarious and really, really funny, or you won't find it funny. Like, it'll just fall flat for you, and that's how it was for me. Greg reminds me of a person who, you know those people who try really, really hard to be funny, to make a joke. They try so hard, they like explain the joke to you, and they try so hard that it's just not funny. Earl is actually the only person that made me laugh in this book. It was the only time that I laughed. I laughed once because of Earl. So yeah, and I feel like if you don't find this book funny, you aren't gonna like it, because without the humor, if you don't like the humor, there's nothing else. Like, it's not meaningful, the characters aren't likable, so if you don't find it funny, then you're not going to like the book. I didn't like the humor, I didn't find it funny, and so I didn't really like it. But I did think that it was a really honest portrayal, and so that is why I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. So that is my review of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I hope you enjoyed this review. Tell me your thoughts about this book if you've read it in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Bye!